Hi everybody, my name is Julia and I'm 13. Today I want to share the most terrible aspect of my life. I live in a single-parent family. My mom left us when I was only 5 years old. Since then, I've lived with my dad. We get along very well. I thought I would never have any troubles, but at the age of 6, I began to sleepwalk. In scientific terms, they call it somnambulism. This is when a person performs some actions without even waking up. Dad told me that I got out of my bed and walked around the room, fast and slow. All this while sleeping, and I didn't realize it. It was scary. The only way to stop this was to wake me up, but Dad works in shifts and wasn't always home when it happened. So I was left alone with my problem. At that time, my sleepwalking was not so dangerous. After a while though, it began to progress. I took different objects, opened the refrigerator, used appliances, and removed plugs from sockets. Dad was worried about me and brought me to see a therapist. He said this condition would disappear naturally once I become a teenager, but we should take some precautions meanwhile. Just in case, before my dad left for work, we blocked the entrance to the kitchen and sockets. We thought that my current condition was the worst thing that could happen at the time, but we were wrong. In addition to touching objects, I began to leave the house and walk up the stairs in the riser block. One day, I fell down and twisted my leg. I was in real pain. I suffered so much from my condition. How much longer will I harm myself? Will this last for a few more years? I felt terrible back then. Imagine, I crippled myself, and I was tormented. Dad said he made a huge mistake, and we had to do all it took to prevent this from happening again. He asked me to close the entrance to the door every time before bed and leave the key in his room. All cupboards, windows, doors were locked. And that helped. At night, even when Dad was not around, I was fine, and I was only walking inside my room. Several years passed, and we gradually stopped worrying. I thought it was over and I would soon recover from sleepwalking, but once I forgot to close the door, and Dad was at work. I got up, opened the door, walked around the riser block, and knocked on a neighbor's door, trying to open them. Our neighbors were shocked. Imagine some girl trying to break in the middle of the night. She doesn't hear you and she just keeps knocking for no obvious reason. One woman let me in. Apparently she thought that I was lost and needed help. While at her place, I took various objects and smashed them against the wall. Then I ran around her apartment, moving furniture, opening cabinet doors, and so on. She was bewildered, but after a few moments, she came around, caught me, and woke me up. I woke up and heard her screaming. I had no idea what I had done, and it only made the woman more aggressive. She thought I pretended. I was 12 years old back then. I didn't know how to explain it to her, especially because she was already yelling. So I promised her that my dad would explain everything. I called him and they talked. We didn't expect I would try to break into our neighbors, so we didn't bother to warn them. The woman calmed down. I gathered my courage and apologized to her. She said it was alright. Other neighbors were indignant about my behavior and told my dad to tie me to the bed so that I didn't bother other people at night. But that was really hard to hear. Of course, my dad was not going to tie me, but I was shocked with other people's cruelty. After that incident, I never forgot to hide the key, and our life returned to normal. When I turned 13, sleepwalking no longer made me suffer that much and gradually disappeared completely. Now I live an ordinary life, have good sleep, and have no health issues. Thanks for watching. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. What's your attitude towards sleepwalkers? Share your thoughts in the comments.